An amiable welcome to everyone. This is your Lecdem channel to enhance your understanding. Today's topic is about juxtaglomerular apparatus, its functions, hormones secreted, and one of the important mechanism called renin-angiotensin system. Before going into the topic, if you have not checked our previous video about nephron and its structure, please do check it before watching this video, as it is very important to know about nephron before learning about juxtaglomerular apparatus. Firstly, what is juxtaglomerular apparatus? As the name says, juxta means near, and it is a specialized organ situated near glomerulus of each nephron. Juxtaglomerular apparatus is formed by three different structures, namely macula densa, extraglomerular mesangial cells, and juxtaglomerular cells. Let's see about them in detail. Next. What is macula densa? It is nothing but a thick ascending segment of nephron before it opens into a distal convoluted tubule. As you can see in the picture, it is situated between the afferent and efferent arteriole. These are tightly packed cuboidal epithelial cells, which is highlighted as a violet color in the picture. By observing the diagram of the nephron on the left side, you can understand exactly where the macula densa is present in a nephron. The next structure of juxtaglomerular apparatus is extraglomerular mesangial cells. These are situated in a triangular region bound by afferent arteriole, efferent arteriole, and macula densa. These cells are also called as agranular cells. Besides the extraglomerular mesangial cells, there is another type of mesangial cells. They are situated in between the glomerular capillaries called a glomerular mesangial or intraglomerular mesangial cells. Glomerular mesangial cells support the glomerular capillary loops by surrounding the capillaries in the form of a cellular network. As you can see in the picture, they are highlighted in a violet color in between the glomerular capillaries. These cells plays an important role in regulating the glomerular filtration by their contractive property. They also secrete a glomerular interstitial matrix, prostaglandins and cytokines. Now let's see about the last structure, juxtaglomerular cells. They are also called as a granular cells. They are smooth muscle cells situated in the walls of the afferent arteriole before it enters the Bowman's capsule. Sometimes it forms a thick cuff around the afferent arteriole called polar cushion. Okay, that's all about its structure briefly. Let's move on to its function. The main function of the juxtaglomerular apparatus is to secrete two hormones, namely renin and prostaglandin. It also regulates the glomerular blood flow and glomerular filtration rate. Let's see in detail about the hormones secreted. Renin along with the angiotensin forms renin-angiotensin system, commonly called as RAS, which is a hormone system that plays a major role in maintenance of the blood pressure. Now, what are the factors that stimulates renin? Let's see about them. Whenever there is a fall in arterial blood pressure, renin is secreted and it acts along with the angiotensin and helps to maintain BP by RAS, which we will be discussing later. The next factor is reduction in the ECF volume. Whenever there is an increase in sympathetic activity and decreased load of sodium and chloride in macula densa. These are the four factors that stimulate the secretion of renin. Let's go to the most important topic of this video, renin-angiotensin system. When renin is released into the blood, it acts on a specific plasma protein called angiotensinogen or a renin substrate. By the activity of the renin, the angiotensinogen is converted into a angiotensin 1. Angiotensin 1 is mostly an inactive form, and angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2 by the activity of angiotensin converting enzyme, which is secreted from lungs. But angiotensin 2 has a short life of about 1 or 2 minutes. Then it is rapidly degraded into a angiotensin 3 by angiotensinases. Then again, angiotensin 3 is converted into angiotensin 4, which is the hexapeptide. This is the flowchart of the renin-angiotensin system. As you can see, it gives a clear view of RAS. In the left side, it includes the stimuli for the secretion of the renin. Now we will see about what angiotensin does to maintain BP. Angiotensin 1 is inactive and only acts as a precursor of angiotensin 2. But angiotensin 2 is the most active form. It acts on the blood vessels directly and causes vasoconstriction. It also indirectly increases BP by increasing the release of noradrenaline, which is a general vasoconstrictor. On adrenal cortex, it stimulates the zona glomerulosa of adrenal cortex to secrete aldosterone. As a result, aldosterone acts on the renal tubules and increases the retention of sodium, which is responsible for the elevation of blood pressure. On the kidney, angiotensin 2 regulates the GFR by two ways. Firstly, it constricts the afferent arteriole, which causes decrease in the filtration. Secondly, it contracts the glomerular mesangial cells, leading to decrease in a surface area of glomerular capillaries and filtration. It also increases the sodium reabsorption from the renal tubules. This action is more predominant on the proximal tubules. On brain, angiotensin 2 inhibits the baroreceptor reflex and thereby indirectly increasing the blood pressure. Baroreceptor reflex is responsible for decreasing the blood pressure. It increases the water intake by stimulating the thirst center. It also increases the secretion of the corticotropin releasing hormone from hypothalamus. As a result, corticotropin releasing hormone in turn increases the secretion of the adrenocorticotropic hormone from pituitary. This in turn increases the blood pressure. It increases the secretion of the antidiuretic hormone from hypothalamus. These are the four main functions of angiotensin 2 on brain. Other action of angiotensin include it acts as a growth factor in heart and it is thought to cause muscular hypertrophy and cardiac enlargement. Angiotensin 3 increases the blood pressure and stimulates aldosterone secretion from the adrenal cortex. Angiotensin 4 also has adrenocortical stimulating and vasopressor activity. That's all about renin and its function and renin-angiotensin system. Let's see about prostaglandin. Prostaglandin and extraglomerular mesangial cells of a juxtaglomerular apparatus secrete prostaglandin. It is also secreted by the interstitial cells of medulla called type 1 medullary interstitial cells. Some of the other substances secreted by the juxtaglomerular apparatus include cytokines like interleukin 2 and tumor necrosis factor, which is secreted from the extraglomerular mesangial cells, and thromboxane is secreted from the macula densa. In the function of juxtaglomerular apparatus, we saw about two hormones and now we will see about the function of juxtaglomerular apparatus in regulation of glomerular blood flow and glomerular filtration rate. Macula densa of juxtaglomerular apparatus plays an important role in the feedback mechanism called as tubuloglomerular feedback mechanism. It is an adaptive mechanism that links the glomerular filtration rate to the concentration of the salt in the tubule fluid at the macula densa. So, a high salt or a reabsorption rate at this site causes contraction of the afferent arteriole and reduction in the GFR. This autoregulatory mechanism is intrinsic to the kidney. In this video, we saw about juxtaglomerular apparatus, its definition, its structure, namely macula densa, extraglomerular mesangial cells and juxtaglomerular cells, its functions, hormone secreted, renin and prostaglandin, RAS, how angiotensin acts on blood vessels, adrenal cortex, kidney and brain to maintain BP. Then lastly about prostaglandin and regulation of the glomerular blood flow and glomerular filtration rate. That's all about juxtaglomerular apparatus and its function in this video. Hope I made it simple and clear. Thank you.